some people. I'm sure, knowing WC, people are tuning in from all over the country, maybe even the world. So good afternoon, ladies. I'm Tiffany Norwood. I am a serial entrepreneur. I've done 9 startups spanning 60 countries, 37 years, and a patent. I'm most known for innovation and change making and the power of imagination. So today I'm going to talk about that because we're living in such an era of uncertainty and change between coming off the pandemic, this sort of new world order that we're in, as well as the impact and growth and domination of AI in almost every segment of our lives, especially in business. Because I've spent the majority of my career dealing with change and looking at change as an opportunity, I've also had to lead a lot of teams through change and uncertainty. So I wanted to talk about that because I wish for all of you all to really embrace what's going on in artificial intelligence right now. In my career, as I said, that spanned 37 years, they've been predominantly tech startups, right? So currently I have 3 tech startups, one in esports, one an AI for good company. We're actually hacking the return on investment of kindness and connection within organizations. And we just started our first pilot with a company in London. And the third company is a company called Tribetan that, given my career of dealing with innovation and change making, it's a company that's an innovation company. We innovate for other companies, but more importantly, we teach other people innovation and developing an innovation literacy for success in business, school, and life. So that's what I'm going to zoom in on today. First, I want to say, face the change with open arms. Do not be afraid of it. As I said before, think of it as opportunity. When you have these major disruptions like the internet, like computers, like social media, like broadband, right? And like AI, yeah, there are some industries and companies that should be, and rightfully so, very worried, but they're usually the dominant players, the companies that are winning in the moment. In disruption for all the rest of us, if you're not the number one company in your field, you really have nothing to lose because disruption is opportunity. It's where all the change happens, and that change includes new winners in the space. So in my career, when I was, I guess about 22 and 92, no, that would be 24, I licensed my first software to Wall Street, and actually it had a lot of AI in it. So AI isn't that new. It's just sort of coming of age. And a few years after that, in 97, I raised nearly $1 billion for a startup. And our startup was called World Space, and we launched 3 satellites to cover every country on Earth, including North America. And our North American play was XM radio. From then, I did next generation broadband. So those are all the self-install kits that you start to see in Best Buy and other electronic stores in the early 2000s, so that you didn't need a truck roll. And then, as I mentioned, I have an esports company and another AI company, and the innovation company today. In every moment of change, people are going to be resistant. And so when you're making change within your company or even at home with your family and friends, know that it's typically the resistance and the pushback that you get is not you. It's actually math and human nature. So I teach innovation a lot at Cornell. I've taught at Yale. I've taught at University of South Carolina. And one of the things I always share with my students is something called the innovation diffusion curve. Now, I know you're like, Tiffany, oh my God, you're such an engineer. We don't want to get into that stuff right now, but bear with me for a moment. In the innovation diffusion curve, and you're probably generally familiar with that market entry curve that starts with early adopters and then early majority and then majority and laggards. The innovation diffusion curve is actually an extension of that curve. It carves out on the front end about 2.5%. And those 2.5% are the innovators that attract the early adopters. So if you think about it, that means 2.5% of the general population has that innovation mindset. They're open to change. They love uncertainty. They get excited about it. But it also means the other 97.5% of the general population has a negative reaction to change. So when you're first coming up with these new ideas in your company, whether it's AI or let's change the widget from red to purple, right? You can pretty much be ensured that 97.5% of the people are going to be resistant to it. It is just human nature. What that means is that you go out, you keep telling the story over and over and over and over again. And usually you'll have to tell the story of the idea maybe 52, 53 times, because that's where you find those first 2.5 people out of 100. So make sure that you don't give up too soon. If you're getting all this, one of my secrets of success, because I've raised more money for a startup than any entrepreneur before or since for the satellite radio startup, because in real dollars, that's nearly $2 billion for a startup, is that most people will stop before that math can work. So at the very least, when I'm doing something new, I write a list of 1 to 52, and then I just play the numbers. I just tell as many people as I can in my organization and within family, friends, etc., to initiate serendipity. So that's one gift I want to give to you around change. The other gift is taking your imagination seriously. And I'm going to close with that because I have a few more minutes, and I want to share a poem with you that illustrates the power of imagination and why it's so important to keep telling those stories until you find those first 2.5 people that are your initial believers that will then help you get the early adopters, and then get the early adopters will help you get the early majority, etc. And this poem that I'm going to share right now is called Hermione Rising, and it's in tribute to one of my favorite female leaders, Hermione Granger from Harry Potter. I love her because she is a self-made woman like me. She found her own magic like me, and I'm sure it's a story that a lot of you relate to as well. So here we go, Hermione Rising. I imagine a better way, something disruptive and innovative, used and revered, demanded and paid for, something transformative. Imagination, why do we deny it or discount it? It's the source of all innovation. Einstein was theoretical, not applied. Da Vinci, an artist and a scientist. George Washington Carver, no vision, no hope. And Harriet, well, Harriet had to imagine freedom before she took the first step. I have a dream of traveling to space, of curing cancer, of running for office, of peace, unity, equality, and equity. I know you all get what I'm saying. It's not about the how, it's about the why, the sense of purpose. No need to teach imagination, just endorse it. And with grace, give space for it. It's not to be packed away. It should be on display in schools and offices and gatherings of the WBC, right? A priority among the others. Serious vote for tinkering and sketching and making and for play. Forcing memorization of someone else's prior imagination is not the way. The recipe gives space to extend and expand a concept through empathy and understanding, through diversity and collaboration, an embrace for imagination in the case of them all. The more minds that imagine together, the more innovation blossoms. The more diverse these minds, the taller it grows. And if it's fueled by love and understanding, it thrives and soars. We are 8 billion strong, sisters. We can do anything unless we fight each other. go human or go home. My fellow leaders, you are our future game changers. Your place is at the top of the class. Take out your wand and cast the spell of I want that. It's okay if it's messy. Change, innovation will always be messy. Practice, rehearse, experiment, try, screw up, and then rise up. Wield the magic of hope and faith, and know that the world may attack your genius now, but love you for it later. Hermione is rising, and her power is limitless, and so is yours. I hope, like her, you will use it for the greater good. God believes in you. Please always believe in yourself and each other. Thank you. I had a great time joining you today, and I'm looking forward to staying connected. You can find me on LinkedIn.